Man's biggest enemy has always been ego. A lot of the problems we're seeing around in society, a lot of the problems we've had here in this world is as a result of ego. When a human being moves from ego into what they are actually supposed to be, in humility, in love. I've already shared the importance of love to you. Love, any human being who decides to walk in love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and all of that, that is the frequency or the band where God speaks. Anybody that want to have a close relationship with Him, you want to have that personal closeness with Him. You have to operate on the frequency of love, because in the frequency of love, that is where God speaks. The frequency of hatred, envy, jealousy, pride, that is where the devil speaks. It's like when you have, those days we had television sets. You search, there are some stations that you find on the VHF. Some of the stations are on the UHF. Love, very important. Anybody, in the time we find ourselves where we are in the end of the world, don't let anybody deceive you. You are seeing a lot of things play into situations, and things are turning around in a lot of things. Very important. Man's biggest enemy on the face of this earth is ego. Everywhere you see strife, division, you see all of those things. Strife, division, disharmony. You find ego there. Ego is another form of pride. It's trying to prove something, but there's no need for that. And that drive and desire to prove something gets people to move in a certain direction without thinking and asking themselves, this action I'm taking, who is it going to affect? Who is it going to affect? You see, God has already given us the solution and formula for a better world, and a world that is going to exist in harmony. It's just love your neighbor as yourself. Before you do anything, ask yourself, this action I'm taking, who is it going to affect in the long run? Who is it going to affect? This thing I'm about to say, this thing I'm about to do, this action I'm about to take, who is it going to affect in the long run? Yeah. And there are a lot of things you would not do if you ask yourself this question all the time. But ego is a problem. And I've said, if you go to my post where I spoke about why we should be balanced in our energies, our feminine and masculine energy. Every human being has two types of energies. You are either feeding your masculine energy or you are either feeding your feminine energy. If you feed more of your masculine energy, you operate more in ego. If it's balanced, you will be a balanced person who will know when you should respond to with your masculine and when you should respond to your feminine. People say, feminine, it's only women. No, you are just being ignorant. Every human being is balanced. You look at the Chinese guys, they call it a yin and yang. And we see it in a lot of places and everything in this world. Positive, negative, hot, cold, male, female, as above, so beneath, and all of these concepts is talking about the same thing. The human being himself have to be balanced in their energies. If you are overfeeding your feminine, you see another result. If you're overfeeding your masculine, you see another result. It has to be balanced. But the issue is ego. You see, if we were feeding our masculine and feminine equally, nobody will be in ego. Your ego will not take over. There's a time you need the ego has to step in, sometimes. And I think I've gone at length to talk about that. You can look on this channel for that video, balancing your masculine and feminine energy. But I'm talking about ego today because a lot of the problems you're seeing here on earth is as a result of ego. We look at us, I ask a question. World War One, why was it fought? What were you trying to prove? How many lives were lost in World War One? How many souls perished in World War One? All the things we destroyed, things we have used money to build, infrastructure and things we have built for years, we destroy all of it for what? To prove what? A war is a lot of the wars we see is as a result of ego. Because a lot of the people behind the scenes, a lot of the people who are pushing the buttons when it comes to war, if they are to look and ask themselves, how many lives are going to perish in this war? How many women and children are going to suffer as a result of this war? A lot of them will decide to choose peace. A lot of them will choose peace. Ego. To prove something, to show that I'm stronger than you, I'm better than you, I have more ammunition than you. To prove what? That thing you are trying to prove, is it more important than the soul of one life? Human being created in the image and likeness of God. Is it important? Whatever reason you have to proceed and kill people, is it justification enough for even the life of one person? Can you create one human being? Have you died for any human being? Ego is man's biggest enemy. Wherever you meet ego, run away from him. I'm telling you. Because wherever he is, distraction, division, confusion, strife, and then the other things that follow the negative energies. Ego, anger, jealousy, all of those things follow. Ego. Meanwhile, God has created us here into this world to what? We love. Asking yourself the question. You see, that thing that Jesus Christ told us, love your neighbor as yourself. It's very simple. If you ask yourself, who is this decision going to affect? Every time you're about to make a decision, a lot of people will make 90%. 90% of the people who are making these decisions will always make the right decision. Because when you ask yourself, who is this going to affect? Immediately, certain dimensions are open to you to see down the line and then decide on what you're about to do. Ego. World War II. How many lives were lost? How much did you spend? How many lives were lost? Is the devil behind it? You see, when you see ego, is a devil hiding behind the scenes. It's like he's watching a movie. I'm telling you. God will not create creations and celebrate when his own creation are destroying themselves. For what? For no reason. No apparent reason. If you have created something before, you know how you feel when somebody tries to destroy that thing. If you've ever created anything before, or if you've even made content before, and you find somebody trying to find somebody take that content you've created and is using it in a certain way, you yourself will know how you feel. How much more the Father created all of these things, created man in his own image and likeness, and to watch them being destroyed this way. This is part one. Man's biggest enemy is ego. But a lot of people have not perceived it. It eludes a lot of people. Our biggest enemy is ego. And the one who hides behind ego is a destroyer, the devil. This is part one.